When I returned, my security detail met me at the airport with grim faces. I braced for vandalism, graffiti, maybe a break-in. Nothing prepared me for the sight that awaited me. My sanctuary, the home I had built with my late wife 2 decades earlier, was gone, reduced to rubble and a cracked concrete foundation. A bright yellow demolition notice was stapled to a surviving fence post, citing Article 4, Section 95B of the HOA Charter. The problem? That section didn't exist. Standing in the ruins, with the wind scattering fragments of my life across the dirt, I felt a fury colder than anything politics had ever brought me. My security chief patched the Attorney General into a call. The AG actually laughed out loud, then asked if I wanted to pursue criminal charges. My answer? Pursue every legal avenue. The next morning, I held a press conference from the ruins. The optics were devastating. A sitting governor standing in the wreckage of his unlawfully destroyed home. I calmly laid out the fabricated fines, the fraudulent bylaws, the illegal demolition. I showed proof that the cited charter article never existed. The story exploded online within hours. News vans swarmed Pine Ridge. Karen barricaded herself inside her house, refusing comment while reporters camped on her manicured lawn. By the following day, I had ordered a statewide investigation into HOA abuse. The Attorney General froze Pine Ridge's accounts. I signed an executive order, the Homeowner Autonomy and Due Process Act, requiring unanimous board votes for fines over $100, mandatory 30-day appeal windows, and criminal penalties for fraudulent enforcement. Karen was served mid-book club, where she was ironically reading The Art of Assertive Leadership. Witnesses said she fainted straight into a cheese platter. The investigation uncovered a pattern worse than anyone expected. Karen had inflated fines, forged meeting minutes, and even impersonated board members through fake email accounts. She admitted targeting my property specifically because I was governor. She had even submitted a puff piece to National HOA Quarterly about holding the powerful accountable, but it was rejected for lack of evidence. In court, her defense was as tone-deaf as her enforcement. She insisted that true leadership means making tough choices, and claimed she was protecting property values. When pressed on the $75,000 in fines, she had no legitimate records. When asked about the demolition authorization, she said it was a verbal vote she later documented herself. Prosecutors produced evidence that she had invented Article 4, Section 95B the night before the demolition, typed up on her home computer, then printed on fake HOA letterhead she had ordered online. The judge was unmoved. Karen was convicted of fraud, forgery, impersonation, and destruction of private property in excess of $1 million. Her sentence? 4 years in state prison, plus 2 years probation, and an order to pay $4.8 million in restitution for my home and possessions. The courtroom sketch captured her perfectly. Hair wilted, jaw slack, white-knuckled grip on the defense table. She kept repeating that she was just enforcing the rules as deputies cuffed her. Her final protest before being led away? Complaining that the handcuffs weren't regulation approved.
The roar of chainsaws and bulldozers echoed through the mountain air as I watched the live security feed from my office in the state capitol. 2 HOA board members stood idly with coffee cups in hand, casually observing as my $4.3 million mountain estate crumbled into rubble. At the center stood Karen Mitchell, HOA president and self-proclaimed compliance expert. She actually smiled as she leaned toward her companion. The audio picked up her words perfectly. This is what happens when you ignore the rules. At that exact moment, my motorcade was already winding up the mountain road. I had cut my conference short the instant my security team alerted me. 20 minutes later, my black SUV rolled into the driveway. I stepped out wearing my official state jacket with the governor's seal stitched across the chest. My state trooper escort flanked me. Kara's expression shifted from smug triumph to puzzled disbelief, and then to pure horror as recognition struck. Her coffee cup slipped, shattering against the pavement. I removed my sunglasses, and in the calmest voice I could summon, told her, "You just demolished the governor's house." The color drained from her face so fast I thought she might collapse right there. 3 months earlier, I had retreated to that very home in Pine Ridge Estates for what was meant to be a quiet working vacation. As governor, moments away from the relentless grind of politics were rare. The mountain estate had been my refuge for 15 years, a place where I could hike, draft policy by the fireplace, and enjoy the alpine silence. But Pine Ridge Estates had recently fallen under new HOA leadership. 6 months earlier, Karen Mitchell had been elected president on a platform of strict enforcement and neighborhood beautification. She strutted into every meeting in tailored suits, a measuring tape always tucked in her purse like a weapon. To her, every resident was a potential offender. When she discovered the governor owned a property under her watch, she saw an opportunity to prove that nobody, not even me, stood above her authority. The first notice arrived 2 weeks into my stay, a formal warning about non-compliant window tinting in my home office. Amused, I explained that the windows were original, installed 15 years earlier with prior HOA approval. Karen fired back with a highlighted bylaw from her new compliance standards, voiding all past approvals. From there, she weaponized the entire rulebook. A $75 fine for an uncouth chimney soot pattern, a $150 penalty for unsanctioned wind chime orchestration. She claimed my chimes created a disruptive melody pattern, a $300 fine for excessive tree density on my 5-acre lot. She had actually counted and decided I had 12 too many trees. Each notice arrived with photos, citations, and footnotes from bylaws that seemed to materialize overnight. I tried to resolve it professionally. I sent a courteous letter on state letterhead, reminding the board I was the sitting governor and suggesting reason might prevail. Karen's reply came via certified mail, a homemade pamphlet titled, "Elected Officials Are Not Exempt from Law and Uniformity Standards." She had annotated it with handwritten notes about leading by example. By the end of the month, her fines totaled $9,600. The escalation came when I found a neon orange final violation notice nailed to one of my allegedly illegal trees. It misspelled my name as Julian Markwell and claimed I now owed $18,000. Payment was due within 10 days, or further action would be taken. I left for a national governors conference 5 days later, assuming my legal staff would defuse the nonsense while I was away. That assumption was a mistake.